The Radleys is a 2024 film directed by Euros Lyn. This is written by Talitha Stevenson, and it's based on The Radleys by Matt Haig, and we have a cast including Damian Lewis, Kelly Macdonald, Harry Baxendale, and Bragason. And I wasn't sure if I'd like this or not, because I don't care about vampire stories, but I'm trying. I'm trying to get into vampire films, and I do like comedy horrors, so I thought this would be a good one to go with. And I didn't like it, and I think part of that is down to personal preference and the fact that I don't really care about vampires. But there are some other reasons why I didn't love this. This is about a family of vampires who have actually abstained. The children don't actually know they're vampires, but they find out pretty quickly. And the film is about the aftermath and learning about their true identity. And as a concept, I don't hate it. It definitely sounds quite interesting. It's definitely a little different to anything I've seen before. And that could have meant that it would have been really fascinating for me. Unfortunately, I found the narrative to be really dull, but maybe personal preference. But something that I think isn't personal preference is that I found the characters to be really unlikable. The whole family, the performances were fine. It's nothing to do with that. I just think the characters were really poorly written. I don't mind Clara. I thought she was okay, but the rest of them I just found to be a little bit annoying, and I can't quite put my finger on why. I just think they were quite unlikable individuals. So for me, the narrative wasn't interesting. I couldn't then rely on fascinating characters. Visually, quite appealing. We have some nice camera work, nice locations, bright lighting. Visually, not a bad film. The performances are fine. The narrative, I guess, is fine. It flows well. The pacing's fine. No issues there. I just found it to be quite dull. Although there were some moments that were not necessarily funny, but I guess with a little bit of dark humour it was okay. I'll tell you in a moment the one bit that I found to be genuinely really, really amusing. It's not really a spoiler, but I'll explain it in a moment. Do I recommend it? If you're a vampire film fan, then yes, check it out. I'd love to know what you think of it. If, like me, you don't really care for vampire stories, I'd say there's not enough in this to otherwise carry the story. It had the chance to encourage me to watch more vampire films, but I'm not going to jump to do that. But I'm still trying, so if anybody can recommend any, please feel free to do so. I've seen a handful, but they're definitely not my favourite. And unfortunately, the Radleys isn't immediately changing that. For me, didn't love it. It might appeal to some people, but it didn't work well for me. I will now say the one moment, or one of the few moments, I guess, where I genuinely liked it. It's when the daughter, so this is a spoiler for something that happens, but it's quite early on in the film. The daughter is in the woods and she's being abused by this guy, and something within her unleashes. Bearing in mind she doesn't know that she's a vampire at this point, and she punches him and flings him. And all we hear is this scream, and she calls her parents in a panic, and her parents arrive. And then the next thing we see is just the camera pointing on her covered in blood. And it was just, it was a funny reveal. I liked it. I thought it was decent. So there are a couple of small moments here and there. Not enough to save the film for me. But ultimately, I guess The Radleys is okay. But I didn't love the narrative. I really didn't like a lot of the characters. If you're a vampire fan, you might like it, but for me, it just wasn't that great an experience.